The source that I decided to focus on was the Veteran History Project, and I have to say it was kind of a difficult decision to choose which one to focus on, just because after searching all 7 sources, I was really impressed at what we have out there for veterans, and there's a lot of really unique and cool programs. And it was hard to choose just one, basically. But I did decide the Veteran History Project, and I think my favorite part about this is just the fact that it's real stories being told by the actual veterans. And I love the idea of that. I love the idea of holding on to history and sharing stories and not letting those things be forgotten. So that's something that's really important to me. So I thought this one was really cool. So what this is it's an ongoing effort to just highlight the stories of veterans and their experience in war. And it makes these stories accessible so that future generations can better understand what happened firsthand. And it originally was produced by the government, and AARP really got behind this. They funded it, and they also just encouraged all of their members to get involved and to kind of kickstart the program, and they did. And so it got well known, and now in this day it's used by a lot of people, and even like students will conduct interviews as part of their school projects and post to this, so that's really cool. So I actually found it by reading in my local Cassia County mailer, because I do live here in Burley, Idaho, and they were just trying to help spread the word, and they did a whole story on the program, and I thought it was really neat. And they did a great job. And I think probably my favorite part about this whole thing is that it's first-hand stories coming from the source. You don't hear like someone else talking about it, like you hear the actual interview. And I think it would just be a great, not only is it entertaining, but it's also a great source to use if you're trying to do a research project or write a paper. You can get first-hand information just super accessibly, and you can research any war. You just go in and search and type which war, what time, and when you click on the individual interview, it gives you all the background information on the specific veteran and who they are and what positions they held, and so it's really informative. Another cool thing about this project is that we can contribute. So on the website, they make it really clear on how to make submissions. There's a tab that you can select that will explain everything really clearly, and all you really need is just at least 30 minutes of audio, or you can do 20 pages of journal entries, or 10 photos or letters. And probably the biggest limitation on this is that the submissions do have to be mailed in, and they don't accept any digital submissions at this time, which I think is kind of unfortunate, because most of these people conducting the interviews are younger, and it's just a lot easier to and less of a headache just to submit it online, especially as we further and further advance in technology. So hopefully that's a change that is made in the future, because I think that is probably hindering the amount of submissions that do go in, is that they can only be submitted by mail. But something I am excited about is later in this semester we are asked to interview a veteran, and I think it'd be really cool if I could actually contribute to this project. So I plan to interview one of my grandpas who served in the Vietnam War. But anyways, I just think that holding on to these stories is so important, and a lot of these the stories that were once told are forgotten, because I just don't think we talk about them anymore. And I also think it's a great way to highlight those veterans, and I'm sure that most of them would love to talk about their stories, and I think that it's kind of a fun gift that we can give them and really listen to what they have to say and their experiences.